battling bullies, how lawmakers are landing a big punch in the fight to protect children and save lives. Michigan State senators passed an anti-bullying bill that requires school boards to adopt policies against bullying and harassment. It is named after Matt Epling, a teen from East Lansing who took his own life at a time when he was the victim of intense bullying. With us now to discuss the bill, Attorney Clarence Doss. We've talked about this. How many years have we talked about this? But every time we talk, something new has happened in other states, but not in Michigan.
Right. In fact, over the years, we were at one point one of the only 5 states in the country without an anti-bullying bill. As it stands today, we're one of only 3 states without an anti-bullying bill, but that might change as of today.
Yeah, we still don't have one. It's just the state Senate. What's the likelihood of the House passing this?
Well, it could pass. It seems like the Democrats are very opposed to it because it takes out certain enumerations for kids that could get bullied. For example, there are kids that could get bullied based on race, sexual orientation, gender, so on and so forth. The Democrats are opposed to taking that out, but it looks like there's enough consensus that it got through the Senate to get through the House.
So something is better than nothing might be the way this thing passes.
Right, and I think Lansing has approached this as a problem where school districts locally could take care of it. So if they could just get the bill going, each school could tailor a policy for bullying that could ultimately end it.
All right, let's go back into what the state Senate has passed, first of all, and what does it call for in the law?
Well, there are 2 things primarily. First, it requires that each school put together its own policy. Now, that could mean several things, but it just wants the school to do it itself. The second thing is that it actually takes the school district and has it accountable to Lansing. So every time a school district comes out with its own policy, it has to get sent to Lansing, and Lansing reviews the anti-bullying policy for every city in the state of Michigan.
Does this go, in your opinion, far enough? Because you've represented both the bullied and the bulliers. Does this go far enough in helping ease this problem that we saw happen the last couple of weeks?
Well, it certainly starts the process, but it leaves a lot of flexibility for schools. So once this bill is passed, only time will tell whether it will actually stop bullying. Schools still have the discretion to implement their own policies. The schools are the ones that will have the responsibility now, not Lansing.
Do you see that as a problem?
It could be a problem because schools oftentimes have different kids from different communities, and teachers may not be equipped to handle those differences. On the other hand, though, and this is me being a lawyer, if a school does know its own students, then they'd be able to better address bullying based on race, gender, so on and so forth.
Okay, you as a lawyer then, if you go into court both representing either the bullied or the bullier, would you prefer to have something like this in either case?
Absolutely. The problem for victims of bullying in the state of Michigan has been that once they're victimized by a bully, they have no defense and no recourse in the courts. With an anti-bullying bill, they now have that opportunity to walk into a courtroom and say, I am a victim of bullying. I am a victim of race bullying, gender bullying, sexual orientation bullying, and now they'll have their day in court.
Although, as you pointed out, right now the version does not have some of those aspects about sexual preference, for instance.
That's correct, but the schools could still tailor their own policy around that.
Okay, you're talking about the victims. How about the bullies themselves? Is this a good thing that the law delineates what is bullying, in effect?
Well, opponents of this bill now argue that this bill isn't strong enough because it doesn't do just that. It doesn't attack the actual bullying. It doesn't have punishments for bullies. It doesn't have policies that will ultimately be aimed at stopping bullying. Schools, however, will have to start taking action because now that they're accountable to Lansing, someone has to answer the question, what happens to the bullies? All
right. Well, Clarence Doss, we do thank you every time you come in to help us explain what's going on in this. So, again, odds of this thing passing the House?
I think it'll happen. Without controversy, but it'll happen.
All right. Clarence Doss, thank you as usual for coming in. 7 Action News has done numerous stories on the fight for a law against bullying, and we have resources online to help you or someone you know if they are a victim. Just click on the bullying story on our webpage at WXYZ.com.